16 seconds to showtime. 13 seconds to showtime. 10 more seconds to showtime. 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, 0. Ducks. Feeding those ducks. Every mix.
What an
Hello,
intro.
hello, hello, everyone.
Good morning.
Come on, we had those ducks. We had to push those ducks out of the way and make room for Friday.
Right. There you go.
Happy Friday, everybody.
Good
Happy Friday,
morning.
everyone.
Ah, there you go,
Guys,
the
it's
intro.
Fridays.
So what
It's
are we?
Friday, guys.
So what's today? What's today's topic? I mean, it's an interesting day to do this.
It
Today,
is.
the
Let's just
Ed Show.
How's everybody doing? How's everybody's week?
not the Ed show. Not the Ed show. This is our show. But the week has
Yeah.
been good, brother. Thank you for asking. Super, super duper busy, man. It's good. Busy's a good thing. I love it. I'm excited
Totally.
about it. Business is booming, so I can't complain. How about you guys?
Busy too. Busy too.
Busy
We
as
got a
well.
listing in your neck of the woods, Ed.
In my neck of the woods. You better stay out of my neck of the woods.
Well,
Where'd you get a listing at?
close to the park in Valley Stream, yeah. It's cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
because over here in my neighborhood.
I know.
Okay.
That's awesome.
I love it.
Yeah. All
Awesome.
right. Today.
It's an
Today we're
interesting
gonna-
topic.
Yes. Ed,
It's
why
an
don't
interesting
you
topic.
just tell us
Spit it off.
basically what brought on the type of topics we had? Because it's not we
I
didn't
feel like
etiquette real estate unwrapped like a year ago, maybe a little bit over a year ago, right? But I guess there's something that really touched your core this week or last week, and you wanted to talk about it, right?
I'm like, I gotta grab paperwork like the newscasters because we're gonna be reporting what really grinds our fudging gears. All right.
Wow. Yeah.
This is something that I would say is a bit cringing. It frustrates me. I'm gonna tell you right now, it frustrated me. I went through it. So we want to talk about some of the etiquettes, some of the real estate etiquettes, and then we called it what really grinds our gears. All right,
stuff that shouldn't happen, really, mainly lack of consideration and sometimes just greed killed the cat. That's about that. Right? And how it's not good it's not a good look for the industry, and sometimes it's not great for the consumer. All right. Yeah, so let's go for it, Ed. Just like go, that's
all
it.
right, so we're gonna run through it right beforehand. We're gonna shout out those that are tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you folks. All right, so one thing that I must say that really grinded my gears, and this is what really kind of started the entire topic, was, long story short, we had an agent that reached out to me about one of my listings. He claimed that his buyer wanted to make an offer and he wanted to know what documents to sign. Now, it's a co-op. All right, it's a co-op apartment. So if you deal with co-ops, you know that there's a lot of documents that you have to put together to submit an official offer, right? So in my head, I said, hold on a second. I had an open house. I clearly vetted the buyers as they came in through the door. I asked each and every one of them if they had an agent. If they did, put their name down. If they didn't have an agent, write no agent.
Right.
So he was claiming for a buyer that came through the door, and he said, hey, that's my client. I have documentations for him, yada, yada, yada. And I said to him straight up, I said, no, I'm not honoring you on this deal because, with all due respect, you never showed up. You never reached out to me about it. You never even had the audacity to come in and say, hey, I know it's Memorial Day weekend. I know you're doing an open house. I have a buyer who's interested. Unfortunately, I can't make it. Is there any way that they can still come and see your open house?
Yeah.
So that's kind of what kicked it all off for us, or for me at least. I figured it was a good topic to talk about because this is something that commonly happens. I mean, I'm sure it happens to you guys at your listings when you're doing open houses, or you show a buyer and all of a sudden you talk to them the next day and they're like, yeah, my agent. And it's like, with all due respect, bring it up. In my opinion, I feel like that falls on our lap. You know what I mean? Because not for nothing, if we, oh, I got somebody at the door. If we,
Can you answer that?
no, I'm not answering that. I'm in the middle of my live. They're gonna have to wait. I wasn't expecting anybody, so I don't know. You know, maybe it's a confusion. I mean, hopefully they're dropping off breakfast, but you know, this is something that, like I said, if we just have that common communication. So I know it happened. It has to have happened to you guys. So I'm curious to know, how do you guys go around this? How do you kind of deal with these individuals that want to submit offers, didn't do a lick of work, and they're coming in talk about my client? First of all, your client said you didn't even exist. How is this your client all of a sudden? You know.
You know, I'm probably more. Somebody else. Maybe you need to go check who that is.
Maybe I should.
Yeah.
It's just that I only have my top portion on.
Right.
Yeah.
Just
give me
slide
Turn off the video. There
Yeah.
you go.
So this is, to me, it's like, unfortunately, you know, it shows like lack of consideration, and sometimes a little bit of I think that agent is probably thirsty for you know, for a deal to happen, and wants to get paid without doing too much work, right? Wouldn't you agree with me, Israel? And
honestly,
yeah.
it doesn't matter to me because you know
It doesn't matter. I mean, to me, it doesn't matter. I just want to make sure we get the best for the seller.
The way I look at it is two ways. We had mentioned this a long time ago in one of our sessions. You know, when you're doing a showing, the buyer agent knows the buyer. You know, they pretty much understand what kind of buyer they're looking for, so on and so forth. We're all human beings. We're not latched. You know, that means that the buyer that was working with is not loyal to that buyer's agent. So a lot of things transpired behind that. So the way I look at it is, fine. I mean, you're going to come in. You're going to come in. But guess what, homie? You're going to be doing a lot of work, because just because you didn't bring them to the open house, that means you're still going to be doing a lot of work.
Of course, yeah. I mean, especially on the co-op.
Especially the fact that, exactly. Especially the fact that you're saying that you're doing a co-op. Who does most of the work? Is the buyer's agent. So
I don't. I somewhat. I find my hello. You're back.
I'll be right back. Give me a minute. Sorry, guys.
I find myself doing a lot of work with buyer's agents on co-ops, mainly because you need to supervise, make sure all the paperwork is in place, make sure all the steps.
But that's supervisory stuff. I mean, right, but that's supervisory stuff. Good agents, good listing agents will do that. They'll try to create and keep everything in the systematic format. But the buyer's agent has to be the one that's actually getting everything, all the paperwork's done, making sure that the appraisals are getting done, make sure that the things are getting online with the bank. So these things are their jobs. These are things that they need to take care of. We're just, as listing agents in this case, we're like, all right, is this done yet? Is this done yet? We're just being managers of the entire situation.
Yeah.
So the point that I'm trying to make with that is, yes, fine, whatever. Buyers want to work with that agent, whatever. Go ahead. I think that what will transpire, or has transpired to me in the past, is letting that situation happen and still ending up to do all of the work.
Yeah.
Right. And then you ask that buyer agent, what have you done? It's like, I've done some work. What? What have you done? So I get pissed off on those little things. I get pissed off.
I know, and you know that agent is probably getting one deals here and so few and far apart that it's like whatever. It's a drop in the bucket. To me, I'm like, in the end, I just want to make sure I'm going to get the best deal for the seller. And a lot of the times, the not so great agent is not going to bring you anything anyway. Right. Very, very often. Right. The buyer is not even vetted and pre-qualified, so yep. But I don't know where Ed is. There are some things that at open houses there was an instance a couple of years ago right at the beginning of lockdown, before we had to do virtual open houses, right at the beginning. All of a sudden, I'm doing an open house, first open house, like tons of people right here in the neighborhood, tons of people waiting. And I'm busy with the another agent and the loan officer, and we're trying to have everybody move through the house and stuff like that. Everybody's a little bit frantic because it's COVID time. We don't know what it is. We're like trying to wipe everything as we go along, you know. And there is this guy outside, an agent, just giving his cards and taking numbers to people that are waiting to get into our open house. The nerve.
Yeah.
The nerve. And the guy has the guts to tell me, oh, but I'm just going to Chinese buyers. You don't speak Chinese. I was like, get the hell out of here.
Right.
And like, if you don't have a client, you have no room here. This was like so unnerving to go. And this is the thing not to do. And I don't know if it happened to you where agents are trying to get the best out of your open house, where you're getting all those people to have interest in the house, and he's trying to get clients out of that,
Yeah.
or just going
had
with them
people
as
do
their
that.
buyer's agent. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had
Right.
that.
Yeah.
So good morning
Okay.
to Marilyn Mendler. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I've
There
had that
was
happen.
Yeah. There was something that you had mentioned when we were preparing for this segment. You had something that really ticked you off. You had a buyer that came in with their agent, and you found out that the agent was actually recording you without your consent.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to
So
go over
that
that? Just give that story.
well, I mean, it's a quick story. So here I
Sure.
am. We're doing a showing, and then all of a sudden I see this iPad following us, and following us in the sense like it's being, like it's recording the situation.
Mm-hmm.
And I quickly approached as we're halfway through the showing. I asked him, "Are you recording us? I mean, what's going on here?" And simply asked, "Yes, I am recording you. Is that a problem?" And I had to take him to the side and had a professional conversation with him.
Yeah.
But I think that in the future, if anyone wants
Yeah.
to record anyone else, you guys are silly. If you guys want to record anyone else, then what it comes down to is that you want to make sure that person knows that they're being recorded.
Right.
I'm sure your buyer already knows it's being recorded.
Yeah.
At least let the agent know. Give that sort of courtesy of respect of professionalism that I'm being
Yeah,
recorded.
even though New York is it's a no consent, so it's a one party consent. Like the guy that records is the only one that really say, okay, I can record. But as a courtesy, that's kind of weird, like sometimes you don't want to be put in situation. A lot of the lack of etiquette is really it's really lack of courtesy, like people not trying to do unto others what you would want to don't. What is the proverb?
Do unto others as you would want them to do unto you.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I was making fun of you, Ed, because you came in with I guess those are the lenses that are like daylight, like the
transitions,
the transition lights, and it looked like they were sunglasses. So I just put mine on. That was just funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, what else did we have? There was something we wanted to. Go ahead.
Technically, they need to. Oh, we got a response here. Marlene said, technically, they need to ask for your permission. I mean,
no, not in New York.
Actually, no, they don't. But they
New
should
York
be.
State. Yeah, they should. Yeah,
and they should, because you got to think about it. If everybody, for all the citizen apps that are out there, for everybody that's taking videos, you understand that we're here in New York. We're allowed to take a camera and just start filming right away. But again, because of professionalism, because we're in the close quarters, and here I am being recorded, I, for privacy and all, would like to know that you're recording me.
And on top of it, I mean, the thing is the nerve. The nerve they have, because knowing you, Israel, your marketing has pretty much everything. You got the tour, you got the videos, you got so look at the marketing that is offered to you on the multiple listing, and you can share it with your client. And this is like, sometimes it's a little bit unnerving. I've seen people say, can I record?
Yeah.
I put all that money for marketing and you didn't even show it to your buyer.
I actually, when they come in and they're like, oh, this is real nice, can I take a picture?
No.
I tell them straight up, I'm like, did you see it online? Yeah, but it's different when I come and take it. I'm like, we have a professional photographer that comes in and take photos, right? Like we have a digital, we have a virtual tour, floor plan, website, the whole nine. If you want, I could send that to you. Unless you still want to record, then that's fine. You can record. I'm just saying that
Right.
chances are the recording and videos aren't going to come out as good
As what
as
the
they are on the
marketing will have.
website.
Yeah.
You know.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, it goes for me when they do it that way. It's like whatever. You know how folks will say that I need to see it for myself. Like I
Yeah.
need to look at it for myself because I
Mm.
have to have that feeling. So go ahead, take your camera, and if your camera gives you that feeling when you look at it again, then go
Yeah.
ahead. Because later on, what's going to happen? They're going to look at your photos anyways, right?
Yeah.
So they're going to see if
Yeah.
there's any photoshops or anything else different. But
Yeah, I
at
still
the end of the
I
day, it's
still
not.
send them the link. I'm like, and if
I
they're
do
there with
too.
it,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm like, here,
I
let me
don't.
text you the link. What's your number? Boom, send you the link. And then I even sometimes grab it and I open up the website and I'm like, look, this is what you're gonna get. Like you see the photos, you know, you see the virtual tour.
Yeah,
But and Marlene, yes, I agree with you. Technically
Marilyn.
they should
should.
ask for permission. They don't need
Yeah.
to, but
Right.
they should. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
It should.
if you're out there, recording agents on the low, all right. I don't know what you're recording us on the low for, but ask. All right, just ask. That's all I'm asking is ask us if we can be recorded.
And the thing to add on to that is the professionalism even afterwards. Like you had the audacity to ask questions and all that stuff. I'm like, I almost felt like not even answering the questions anymore. But I'm going to do it anyways, and it just wasn't a friendly professionalism after a while because you're invaded what I wanted to, what I had. So
let's talk about the showing etiquette and some of the stuff that irks us the most. When I'm showing, first of all, I want to make sure that the homeowners remove a lot of the super personal stuff.
I feel like we're venting. Are we venting?
No, we gotta vent sometimes.
This is
and I
grinds
think
my gears.
Today is what grinds our gear. I hate when people just come in, and they come into the house, and a lot of the times in our neighborhood, the first thing you get into is a little foyer and then the living room. And then for some reason, they just make themselves comfortable and just sit down on the sofa. And I'm like, please. It's like, dude, I don't like when people just sit on the sofa. Like, please, just like, you came here to see the house. Please take a look at the house. You can open the closet, but please don't open like drawers and stuff. Don't go and peek at. One day there was a photo that was left into a bedroom of one of my my sellers, and the buyers got really close to that small photo, and they were making comments on the ethnicity of the people living in the house, not understanding, whether if the person that was in the picture was related to the other. And I'm like, I just put it down and I'm like, guys, let's move on with the thing. Oh, but I see this type of painting. That's really a style that you see in Asia. I'm like, I understand. This is the taste of the owners. Let's just move on. I just don't like when the buyers go outside of the boundaries of just taking a look at the house when they
But the thing is, there's really, how can I explain it? Unless they see it in HGTV, no one ever knows those kind of rules.
So
really?
that's why I said not for nothing. As much as we might get frustrated with, in this case, the buyer coming through, sitting on everybody's furniture, opening up drawers, making comments, right? My thing is that as much as we want to get mad or frustrated with these individuals, this is our job. Like, we're supposed to tell them ahead of time and say, hey, yo, listen, when we go into this apartment or this house or this mansion, whatever you want to call it, when we go into this property, all right, I need you folks to try to keep everything sealed. If there's things that you like, write them down. Here's a little pad.
Let's talk about it. Yeah.
Write it down. Write the things that you like down. Write the things that you dislike down. And we'll talk about everything outside. We don't got to go through it inside. And I feel like, not for nothing, we drop the ball in these moments when these buyers come in and they're doing things like that, right? Like sitting here, doing that, making comments. No one coached them.
Yeah. Here, let's look
them.
at Marilyn stuff. I hate when somebody, like, you come to, okay, we all have needs as human beings, like sometimes you need to go to the bathroom, but it's not like be considerate. Here goes Marion's example. Like, they don't even close the door. What is this? You don't have to be subjected to this. And I think, like, like, really use the as a buyer or even as an agent, like, train your buyers and say, like, before we go out, if you need, we can go to my office, and everybody please uses the bathroom, just like with children. We're gonna go on a trip. Everybody needs to go, and and I understand sometimes things happen, but I do in general do not like to have other people using my seller's bathroom. Definitely not. Definitely not. Right. This is one of the things that opening into the closets. Again, it's something I feel. I know it's part of the house, but I still think that the showing agent should ask permission if he could get into the closet. Right? You guys agree? I'm not venting. I'm just giving out, like, a lot of
Sometimes, look, they're gonna ask, "Oh, can I open this?" And again, if you're the showing agent or if you're at my listing, I tend to open the door for you. I'm like, "Yeah, here, look, I'll open it for you." Boom.
Yeah.
Take a look at the deep closets, because that's what everybody says.
Yes.
Look at these closets; they're deep. There's a lot of space.
Right.
Look at them shelves.
Yeah, Marilyn, I'm sure it was really embarrassing, that situation. I've had it. I've had thing where I don't even want to go, where the bathroom had to be re-cleaned again.
Yeah. Look, to quickly keep this in mind, I mean, for any showing agent, for any buyer agent that's going to show the unit, from the moment that you go in there showing with an agent or with an owner, you should automatically start with one question: do we need to take off our shoes? Start with that, because everybody's culture is different from every house that you go to. Yeah. And then as you're going along, right, do you mind if I open up the closet? Do you mind if I, like, open up the windows? Do you mind if I do all these other things as you're going along through the entire house? This way you're actually getting permission to do so. Some agents, may say no. Like, I've done it a couple of units I've had where I said, "No, I'm sorry, the owner doesn't want you to do that." Okay. Sure. Or, they say that they want to use the bathroom. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, the toilet is not working right now. Little things like that would work. But the point is that as a showing agent or a buyer's agent, you should actually literally just ask your permission or all the permissible stuff as you're going in.
Yeah.
Showing and try to give that experience to the buyer as you're going in there. So
right. Yeah.
I like what you mentioned about first question should be is taking off your shoes. Right. 100%.
But you also should be ready as an agent too. Sometimes like you, Ed or Israel, sometimes I don't want to take off my shoes, but I do have
Hold on.
like
I agree with you, and that's why I wanted to go into the next topic, because
go ahead.
You mentioned the shoe part.
Right.
Now,
because I'm always ready with go ahead.
You always got booties.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So look, here's what. This really fucking pisses me off.
This
all right.
this grinds your gears.
This really freaking you know what? Fuck that. I'm cursing. Excuse me. It is what it is. All right. You know what really pisses me off? I'm gonna tell you what really pisses me off. When we walk into a listing and the listing agent says, "Hey, if you folks don't mind, can you take off your shoes?" The sellers like to have shoes off in the place. Fantastic. I'll kick them right off. As a matter of fact, like Gigi, you said, if you're doing that and you have a listing, you should have booties. Not everybody wants to take off their shoes, right? Sometimes we wear our holy socks because, hopefully we're going to try to make this deal. So, the last thing we want to do is get caught off guard, right?
It's like, it's in winter, you have your lace-up boots and stuff.
Hold on. What really pisses me the fudge off is when we finally kick off our shoes and we walk into this home and you have 3 dogs, 2 cats, you have 3 bunnies, your whole floor is sticky as hell, and my socks are now getting stuck to the floor. So now my sneakers were a lot more, or my shoes were a lot more cleaner, and now my socks are dirty, and I'm picking up all this lint and pet hair, and they're getting stuck to the bottom.
In
And
your shoes, back
don't
in
get
your
me
shoes.
wrong. I love pet. I walk around my own home with no shoes off.
Yeah.
You know what happened to me? I got home and I started walking around and I jumped onto my couch and I'm like, oh God, I gotta take these socks off, and I have to rip my socks off because they're dirty.
Yeah.
So if you have a listing, let's be real, okay? You're going to tell me to take my shoes off and you know that the floor is sticky. You should 100% have booties.
Yeah.
I agree.
Period.
Yeah. I went
agree.
to a
100%.
I went to a preview this week unprepared because it was just a preview, and I'm like, it's summer, like whatever. I'll just kick off my loafers and whatever. And the home,
For those that
the
don't know what a
tenant,
preview
not
is,
even the
what's a
owner.
preview?
It's a preview, so the owner wasn't even there. It was his tenant.
Right.
Oh, we removed the shoes, and I'm like, oh my god, we go in the bedroom. She had rodents. I'm gonna be nice. Droppings on the floor. I was like, oh, this is great. Now I'm gonna put my shoes back on, and I'm like, oh, this is fantastic. Yeah.
Like at what point? Like, let's be honest with each other, right? And for you folks that are watching, at what point do we because my tongue was bleeding. I was biting the hell out of my tongue because, like I said, I love pets. I think they're great. They're awesome companions, right? That's not my pet peeve. My pet peeve is when someone takes their dogs on long walks with no shoes on, and then the dog, they don't tell the dog, hey, hold on, dog, you got to clean your paws. You can't walk in there. You got to put some booties on, right? Like, if you have an animal or rodents or bunnies or whatever the case
they
is,
were
right?
rodents that were not pets.
Oh, okay, pet rodents. Sound like pet rodents. But if you had these, if you got these pets, do you tell them to take their shoes off?
They were not pets
on them.
That place was so dirty.
If
you had mice droppings on the floor.
If they're living there, they're pets.
Terrible.
They're pets.
No.
That's terrible.
Guinea pigs are a part of the rodent
I know, but guinea pigs are cute, right? Anyway.
What? You clean up a rat real nice, and it'll be cute too.
I don't know about that, but okay.
Some of these New York rats be dragging pizzas across the train station.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But that I had to let.
So I mean, honestly, it's gotten to that point now. I mean, especially with showings, and I've seen this one agent do it, and I was like, oh my god, I'm planning never to do that, but I want to try to prepare myself even better. He literally had sort of a man purse. He had a man purse, right? And had booties, had hand wipes, had like the little alcohol stuff, the gloves, and I'm like, really? Should we all wear hazmat suits now just to go to showings?
Yes.
It's like, what's going on?
Listen, one time I wore a hazmat suit to a closing, right when the pandemic kicked off.
Oh my god!
You can ask.
You didn't know, yeah?
You can. No, I did know. I did it intentionally. You can ask. You can ask Arun. Arun, shout out to Arun Chandra.
Oh my god! Yeah, he must have had a ball. Yes.
I showed up with hazmat suits, and they all freaked out at closing. Man, it was pretty funny. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, to me, I mean, and not to hop on off this one, but hop on another one. Something that actually sort of irks me is lateness. Lateness on one person comes late, no matter what. It's like
me.
Yes.
Yeah. Lateness is just something that I'm like, you know what? We've scheduled everything for you. We're trying to get everything on time for you. Be on time. That's all I'm asking for. And sometimes when it's the opposite, where you're like the buyer's agent and waiting for the listing agent to come, and they come 15 minutes late, and yet they're like, wait a minute. They're rushing, and what's happened to me, and as I said to you guys, is it's when that happens, I'm moving on to the next showing, and I'll come back. But then that same listing agent, that first one, will call me and say, "Where are you?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm at the other showing. I'll come back later."
I know. Right. Yeah. I mean, I do hate lateness because if you have appointments back to back, one late is gonna ruin the rest of your day. And then you have to. So it's always the questions like, when do you cut off that agent and say, I've been doing it. I'm like, if you're not there in 10 minutes, I'm gone. And they do
So,
come after 10 minutes and they're calling you
yep.
back. It's like, you're not there. I'm like, I told you 10 minutes and I have to go to my
Yeah.
next appointment. I do not want to be late. We can reschedule for another time because my day is full, you know?
So I
And
actually I take the
unfortunately,
college approach. You know, if the professor's not there in 10 to 15 minutes, I'm out. I actually learned this from another top agent that I met throughout the career. And what he does that within the 10, 15 minutes, if you're not there, forget it, he's gone. Don't even try to call him. Like you
Yeah.
can call him 2, 3 days from now, he's gone. So I respect that. You know, it's like from now on and from then on, actually, I only had one buyer that did that to me over and over again. They kept coming late. Then I was like, you know what? Forget you. I can't do this because I can't keep coming late because I have so many other appointments to go to. And from there on
yeah,
out, you know, it's like my threshold has been between 10 to 15 minutes.
right.
Yeah.
So the solution
So
to this is always, as a buyer's agent, if you're going to be late, like nowadays we all have GPSs, we know what's going on, you
yes,
got ways, you got
yes,
this, tell, like, as you see that you're going to, you know, you're going to be late, you need, please call the listing agent and tell them, I'm going to be, this is the traffic right now, I'm going to be late 10-15 minutes. Is it still okay for you? Can we, you know, like, can we make arrangements so we can meet at that time, or do we have to reschedule? Plain
Yeah.
and simple. Because
yeah.
hopefully,
I
as a
remember.
buyer's agent, you have several showing scheduled, not only one,
Mhm.
you
Yeah,
know?
Yeah, it
absolutely.
happened to me. It happened to me the other day, but it was just, look, we live in a heavily populated city, right?
Yeah.
Between the five boroughs, it's just traffic has gotten outrageous. All right. And it's funny because again, I'm always late. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm
We
always
know.
late.
We know. We know.
Yeah, I'm always late. Just so you guys know. All right. Even on a Zoom
Um,
call, I'm late.
viewers out here, Ed jumped on a minute before we went live.
This doesn't happen all the time, though. This is just today. Normally, I'm on a
um,
half hour ahead. Anywho, that's besides the point.
um,
The point is,
yeah.
you know what it was?
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've been spending, when I first
You
started,
know, what? Back in the
Gigi
days
was
that when
training me,
teachers,
and I'm on French time. That's what it is. I'm on French
oh
time.
man, mm.
Between Spanish
It's
and French, it's like I'm between those times. That's
Yeah,
the time
French
I get
time.
all
there.
I gotta
I
say.
know.
All
French time
I
is
gotta say is
20,
your
at
motto
least
is
20
what's the
minutes late.
rush.
But yeah,
What?
yeah,
Your motto is what's the rush. That's your motto. What's the rush?
funny.
What's the rush?
So
That is
Yeah.
true.
Anyway,
That is
so
true.
the thing is, everything can be cured, with like thinking about, the again. I think as an agent, you need to make sure that your consumers, whether it's your seller, your buyer, your even a potential tenant, their experience is the best. So if you're going to be
True.
late, just make accommodations. And sometimes the I've had was my last appointment of the day for a stupid rental, and I shouldn't say stupid, but for a rental, and the um, the prospective tenant was like, oh, there is traffic on the Grand Central Parkway. I'm going to be a little bit late. I'm like, no problem. Let's wait. What's your ETA? He goes, I'm going to go pass by my house. Let's say I'm going to be 15 minutes late. I'm like, it's the last day. Okay. I'll take my time coming over to the house and stuff. Then he's not there, and I'm 15 minutes later. I'm showing, and he goes,
love
oh,
it.
my mom wanted
Love
to
it.
come. And I'm like,
So,
okay, so you're with
Mm-hmm.
your mom, great. And he goes, well, she's still cooking the rice for the pernil for
is she
tomorrow.
bringing some rice and pernil?
I was
Like,
thinking
yo,
she's gonna
Right.
bring it.
I didn't know it was this appointment turned into a dinner date. That's what I would have
I
said.
was like, no, and
Right.
then finally they were like an hour late. I'm like, Zen, Zen. He was like calling me and stuff. He was mad at his mom because she wanted to make sure the rice was cooked. And I'm like, can we cook the rice after we do the appointment? Maybe that would work.
Yeah, I agree.
I would have been like, at least you should have brought some food. I'm here an hour already, an hour and a half waiting for you. You should have
I
brought
don't
some
eat
food.
pernil, so it's okay. It's all
I
right.
do. You
I
got a
know. I
listing
would
over
have
here in
called
Valley
you.
Stream. You could have brought it over.
I know.
I would have gladly took that plate of rice with
Oh,
pernil. You got some salad with that?
right.
No, all right. Anywho,
I
well,
know.
we
So this
appreciate
was
it.
the
She
irks.
said,
I mean, what is it? Yes.
at
What is
least
that?
I'm. She said, at least you can laugh at your lateness. Listen, I tend to laugh at all my own jokes too, so it's okay. I'm just
Right.
laughing my way through
Yeah.
everything.
So on this segment, I
So
wanted to
true.
have Agent Ted. Some of you don't know Ted, but Ted is what is it? It's Ed alter ego as the what not to do agent. And I
Yeah.
really would
Right.
like to bring back Ted because it's really hilarious, the stuff Ted. Ted has this undefined accent and a
Should we?
great mullet, blonde
Should we?
mullet that is.
Should we play his video?
We should another time of the what
Yeah.
not to do. Like same thing, like yeah, things that agents shouldn't be doing. Go into the owner's fridge. Don't serve yourself. Don't help yourself unless you have cookies out there. And yes, you can. And try not to eat everything. Same thing when the homeowner prepares some treats as the listing
Right.
agent. Just don't stuff yourself. You know? Yeah,
Really? I've
little
done that.
things like that. Yeah. On a more serious note, any other things that really I think we need to pay attention when as a listing agent. I'm going to tell you my pet peeve. When I receive offers for co-ops and you're getting one email per document that is not even a PDF. It's sometimes just like a screenshot
A
from
blurry screenshot.
a blurred screenshot from a cell phone, maybe like a flip phone. I don't know, what they
Oh my
do.
God.
And
Damn.
and you don't
Sidekick.
even have a signature in the email of the agent. So you
Right.
need to figure out from the email address who it is from. So when sending an offer, and I would beg any other agent out there, please send all the documents that are actually in the requirements in the broker remarks on your MLS, and possibly put everything in one PDF. That would be fantastic. And if not, put all the documents in one email and sign your name in the email
Well,
so we
you
know
know what
what's
I
going
find
on.
with what I find out with
Yeah.
agents that do that, there's like two things. One, they whatever they get, they send right away. Like whatever they receive from the buyer, they send right without having to compose one entire email, only because they're trying to it's not speed to lead, but more speed to offer. It's like one of those I gotta get there quick,
No,
And well, that's the thing. That's what they want because they're like, let me get it in as quick as possible. Are they trained enough to know exactly what they want? No. Are they trained? Some of them are only doing houses where you only need 2-3 documents versus a co-op where you need the entire world and their grandmother's information, right? So, I mean, what I tell these folks is, look, the ones especially send me out the screenshots. Quick question: is this how you're going to submit the offer, the application? Because I need to see how you're going to do it.
yeah, I
I
know.
mean, this is I need to see what you're going to be submitting to the application,
Yeah.
and
So
then they get shocked from that.
I know. So the solution for that to agents out there, all of you agents, I know a lot of you guys are friends of ours, and I know you're being trained. But for those maybe the few that are watching and are not trained, take the training, like go ask for it, like on how to put. Actually, right now, right after this session, we're gonna have in our office by Olga, one of our favorite mortgage specialists, Olga Savelov, is gonna have another training, a live class on how to calculate debt to income ratio on co-ops. And this is very, very important. Like get as much training as you can so you can put your offers together. Like I would love
Right.
from outside agents, you guys, I know how you're going to present the offers if it's a co-op, and I know I'll get a summary of the buyer's qualification. I know how much the DTI is. I know how much post-closing reserve they would have and all that and that. But please, if you go seek out training so you can present strong offers, you can actually make the listing agent work a little bit easier by vetting your customers and make sure everything is there in place. And then you would bring such a better experience to that listing agent that your offer might be accepted just because it was well presented. instead of having for the listing agent to just calculate everything and say, forget it, I don't even want to work with this buyer's agent. It's going to be a nightmare.
Right. I
Right?
agree.
Yeah. It's
So,
unfortunate, but it does happen because, again, if we're not getting the proper documentation, like we're not chasing you for it. You know what I mean? Like you got a listing, you're not, and if you're priced right, chances are that's not the only set of documents that are going to fly through your email. People are looking,
Correct.
people are trying to buy. And if you're an agent that's doing the right thing, think about it, right? Think about it like what Gigi said, do unto others as you would like them to do unto you. So put yourself in the listing agent's shoes, right? How
yeah,
would you like to receive those offers? Do you want to go scavenging, like playing scavenging hunt through your emails, trying to find that person's email? And then you got oh yeah, I sent that to you already. And it's like, if we would have just had it in one file, one email, summary breakdown, nice introduction, we don't have to go looking for these things.
yeah,
Right?
That's right.
And we're not going to go looking for these things because ultimately, what do we know, right? The truth of the matter is that if a buyer walks into an open house or your listing and they have zero agent helping them, what are we trying to do? We're trying to double end it. So the last thing we're trying to do is really look for all these other documents that you sent to us in an email and try to help you get the offer accepted. No, you need to help yourself get the offer accepted. Put everything together right, present it right. Call the listing agent. Hey, Gigi, what's going on? Listen, I just want to let you know my buyers really like the place. All right. They want to make an offer. I'm putting the documents together. I want to send it over to you. What email address do you want me to send it to? Bam. I introduced myself. Gigi knows who I am. All right, look, I'm going to send it to you by 3:00 p.m. today. So now that way it stays in her mind. Right. When 3 p.m. hits, she sees my email. If she sees a summary breakdown, hey, this is how much income they have. This is their monthly income. This is their monthly debt. This is their debt to income ratio without the mortgage and maintenance. This is what it is with the mortgage and maintenance. This is how much they have cash reserves. Let me know if you need anything else to get this deal accepted.
Yeah. And that would be so amazing. I was like, hello.
There you go.
Hello. Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah. And those are agents I would help, even if I feel the offer is not that strong. I would give them guidance just because I won't tell them, oh here, let's go at this, because I usually work for the seller and want to give them the best. But I would guide them and say, here, we're not where we need to be at. And from what you tell me, we still have room. Can we, how can we push the buyers to bring a better offer right off the bat before even presenting it, So that I would be willing to work like that. And a last pet peeve of mine, just that is happening right now. When you get a multiple offer situation, you actually, like you have agents calling you back and stuff like that, and the owner made a decision, and if you're an agent, you place an offer on the property and your buyer is no longer interested in that offer, in pursuing with the offer, I don't have any front desk and I'm going to have to go. If they're no longer interested in pursuing that offer, call the listing agent. Just tell them. Don't wait for a couple of days. Right now, I've been sending probably 4 or 5 texts and voicemail messages. I don't know what's going on. This is not fair to my seller.
Wait, I'm a little confused. So I'm a little confused. So you're saying that the buyer
made an offer, a really good offer. It could be accepted. It hasn't been officially. But we don't know. The agent is not even contacting us back. I don't know if the buyer changed his mind.
So I would give it a timeline, honestly.
Does the buyer have an agent?
Right.
Hold on.
But I would give it a timeline.
Give me 1 second. We have a client and the front desk is not attended. Hold on.
Understandable. Yeah, so I would, again, as I was saying, I would give it a timeline. So, if I would call the agent or call whoever's contact number I'm supposed to call, hey, just to let you know your offer is, potentially accepted. I need you to call me back. If you're not going to call me back within, let's just say by the end of today, early tomorrow, we're going to move on to the next offer. Okay, I look forward to hearing from you. And that's it. Because now it gives them that urgency to make sure they call you back. Whether you,
I feel like agents, and I don't know if that buyer had an agent or not, but I feel like agents tend to, when the ish hits the fan, they tend to disappear. And it's like you're trying to reach out to them and see what the status is, what's the delay, and they're just MIA, you know? Like, I get it. Nobody likes confrontation, right? But at the end of the day,
Right.
if we're doing business together, like, just say something, you know? Just, hey, look, you know what? Buyer backed out, right? Like this agent that reached out to me and said he wanted to make an offer. His buyer told us their entire story. I felt bad. You know, like you ever get a story and you're like, damn, you know what? I want to help these individuals,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes.
So that's how it goes. But then the agent pops out, and the agent is being, he's not really being friendly. Like, that's the other thing. If you are somebody trying to get paid on a deal that you didn't really work for, that the buyer just showed up and they want to make an offer, but you just happened to speak to them a few weeks ago, like, you need to make the initiative. Like, don't reach out to the listing agent and be like, oh, hey, I want to make an offer. Like, who do I send it to? First of all, you didn't even exist up until like 2 minutes ago. You know what I mean? So be more. I would say be friendly. Come on, hey, look, listen, man. I'm sorry, my buyer showed up at your open house. You know what I mean? I didn't send them there. They saw it. I was away on vacation. I'm not gonna lie to you. You know what I mean? Like, this is what happened. They want to place an offer, but they signed some agreements with me. So, I want to give you the heads up. Would it help if I came and saw the place myself beforehand, or if I met up with the buyers beforehand and go see the place a second time? And then if they did want to move forward, then we'll place the offer. That's an initiative to me. You know what I mean? Like, hey, look, I want to, you know what? I get it. They showed up, but I don't want it to go that way. I want to see the place myself. I want to go through. I want to go through it with them, speak to you. Okay. Maybe I'll squeeze you in at that point. But if you're going to come out and just be like, hey, my buyers want to make an offer, who do I send this to? And I'm like, if you read the MLS, you would have read the agency
Yeah.
remarks, and it would have
I,
told you exactly what you needed to do.
that would be my last pet peeve. Please read the MLS
Yeah.
instructions.
Oh yeah.
Please
Definitely.
read the broker remarks. Please
Absolutely.
do not send your buyers to an open house on something they have absolutely no interest in. And please send them some information before you send them. And like,
Well,
read
I
something.
love the
Like,
ones. Yeah, I love the ones that actually do send them with just a business card, without even calling you or letting you know they're coming over. They go, yeah,
or the
here,
buyer
here's my
comes in
my
and they're
agent.
looking at stuff and he goes, that house is too small. I'm like, uh,
That's your
yo,
agent's fault. You should have told you.
that's your agent. They did not send you the correct information. I'm so
I
sorry
had
for that. I mean, no.
I had a listing that was on the fourth floor walk up, no elevator.
Oh,
The
yeah.
agent shows up, buyer shows up with like a walking cane.
Wow.
So we didn't even go in. I was
Of
standing
course.
out front. She walked up to me. The husband walked up to me too. Everybody looked like they were struggling walking, and I was just like, okay. So I looked at the agent. Yeah, yeah, we're ready to go upstairs. And I was just like, listen, I just want you to
Did you
understand that
even
this
read
apartment
the?
is on the fourth floor and there's no elevator. Is that going to be a
Yep.
problem? Because if it is going to be a problem, there's no point in us seeing this apartment.
Of course.
Yep.
And she's like, oh, I didn't know there was no elevator.
Duh. When he
Says it
says
on
woke
the
up,
MLS.
woke up.
Like, it's on the
On
MLS,
the
no
MLS.
elevator. You know what I mean?
I'm just getting some phone calls on the rental right now where tenants pay their utilities, and it is clearly displayed in the public description and in the broker remarks. Tenant pays all utilities, hot water, heat,
cold water.
cooling, the central air conditioning, electric,
Right.
cooking
Right.
gas, and pays all utilities. Tenant pays all utilities, and I have agents that's like, is everything included? Oh,
I love that.
I
I love that.
am wasting phone calls right now. I could be doing
Yeah.
something else on
As a matter
trying
of fact,
to.
you say that. It's funny because going back to the person that actually was recording me, right? They were asking me like, what do I need to submit as far as application for rental, so on and so forth. And I let them know, I'm not wrong about how I said it. And he looks at the tenants, potential tenants. He's like, did that say that in the MLS? And I'm like,
Did
wait a minute, did you not read that
did
in the
that
MLS?
did that say that? First of all, who are you check? That's another one of my pet peeves, right?
Right, like, and
Assume
I was giving him a
responsibility.
rude attitude. Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
assume responsibility. That's it. Like you're the only reason why. Like don't even try to put it on someone else,
Yeah, I know.
right? And I'll tell you this one. It's interesting because same concept, right? This was a tenant. This was a potential tenant who I've helped in the past, and they were looking for another place, but they're picky and choosy on the things. Yet they're really not in the position to actually sit there and say, okay, well, we could choose this one or that one. Like they're literally not living in a comfortable space right now. Like the options are very minimal and they're very limited on time, but yet they
Right.
still feel that they have the opportunity to just keep looking. Fine. If that's how you
Absolutely.
feel, no problem. But don't get mad at everyone else because you're in that you're in that living
Predicament. Yeah,
situation, right?
yeah.
Like they're not
Right.
they're not even in a rental. You know what I mean? They're bouncing from hotel to hotel, right?
Mm.
They're blowing through cash, and that's what I mean. This is something where you need to sit there and understand you're in that position. They would try to they There was moments where I would get on a call with them and they were ranting to me like, how can this landlord charge us for water? Isn't water supposed to
Hot
be
water. Yeah, the
included?
landlord is for sure. They're gonna
Eh,
charge for hot water. Yeah, you're
yes.
gonna pay for hot water. Why not? If they are
Now
separate, yeah,
that's the hot water, but in this
yeah.
case, it was full water. Why? It was a full house rental. You understand? So it's a
Of
full
course,
house
yeah,
rental. So
Yeah, that
yeah,
makes
it's a full
sense.
house. You're renting an entire house. And I had to explain to him, think of like say, and I always say this, take yourself out of your shoes and put yourself in the shoes of the landlord in this case, right? If they're not using the water, do you think it's fair for them to pay?
no,
Right
of
now
course
there's
not.
apartments where the landlord might, or a house, two-family house where the landlord might live downstairs and like, you know what, yeah, we'll cover the water, whatever, but it's gonna be rolled into your rent
Yeah,
regardless,
yeah,
right?
Right.
So you want something cheap, no doubt things are gonna be priced cheap, but if you're this was a house rental, if you're renting the house, you got to pay for your own utilities.
But
Oh, there's
yeah,
oil, there's oil
yeah,
heated. Oh, that's gonna be through the roof. First of all, man, like we went through all this before. All of a sudden, it's a problem. Like all of a
yeah, yeah.
sudden, everyone else is giving you hell when you fail to look at what happened from the beginning. Like you had ample time to go and
Right.
find a place, but you decided not to do that. You
yeah,
decided to not go and look for it. So now here you are, right?
yeah. But okay,
So,
but
I
we
mean, what I
love
was
our
going to
clients
suggest,
anyway.
we do, we all love them. And when they give you the objection of the water bill, I mean, or paying for the water, because I've had house rentals as well, and I always
Mhm.
ask them, how many pools do you plan on filling up this year? Because it shouldn't cost you too much unless you plan on having long showers and washing a lot of dishes. It shouldn't cost you that much. And plus,
Yeah,
anyways, the bill
Yeah.
goes to the owner anyways. So the owner's going to charge you to up to that level, like up to a certain amount. And if I were you, I mean, think about it. You're not going to take a long shower unless you already do, or you're not going to fill up 18 pools. So it's not going to
Mm.
cost you
right.
that much. Relax.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Anyway, well, thank you guys. We vented a little bit. I guess sometimes we need to do
yes,
so. We want to make sure
yes, we
that
do.
everybody, especially cooperating agent, like let's.
I feel like there was another one that we mentioned.
Yeah, but I don't want to go over an hour. I think we vented a lot. I think it's enough
Was it
bitching for the day.
what? Is that what we were doing? I thought we were just talking about what really grinds our gears.
No, exactly. No, no, but it feels like we may be complaining. We're not complaining. We just want to reveal the stuff that are
it's right. You're
yeah,
saying we're not complaining because honestly, I think we're complaining for a lot of people who are not speaking. Probably we went through the same thing. We all go through the same thing, anyways. Everything that you guys
yeah,
have gone through, I've gone through as well. So again, I'm sure a lot of folks that are watching this and hearing this are shaking their heads like, "Yep, I've been through that as well."
yeah, yeah,
So no, this is really good stuff. Yeah, exactly,
yeah.
Marilyn. It's
And for
really good
those
stuff.
not in real estate,
Um,
this is what we have to go through. Yeah,
this is the
yeah,
backstage of it.
yeah, yeah,
You know
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
what it is? We're being honest and we're telling you folks what has been happening. And it happens. It's not that not every deal is a perfect deal.
Yeah, it's not
Not
an Instagram story. It's not all
no,
filtered and story. It's
no, it's
not that.
not.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a great, fantastic business to be in. And sometimes we just wish everybody was playing their part and getting the right education to be on top of their
Absolutely.
game, and that's what we
Absolutely.
want for everybody.
Well, folks,
Anyhow,
it was a
Sorry,
good
I'll let you
topic.
keep
No matter
going.
how we speak on this.
yes,
Hey, put the music on. It's okay.
yeah. Next
Yep.
week is my birthday week.
Oh
Happy
snap!
Oh,
birthday
snap.
to you.
Not a
What?
senior yet, but soon.
Happy birthday to you.
I remember when that was the thing to be, right? Like in high school. Oh, I'm about to be a senior.
No,
And now
Right.
in adult life, oh God, I'm about to be a senior.
That's so funny.
Anyhow, thank you guys so much for watching. Until the next
Absolutely.
week, we'll have probably some good topics for you to grab onto. Skill building, a little bit of
Yes.
tips on how to run our business better. And please don't
Yeah.
hesitate to share again, comments. We love you guys. And shout
And
out to
All right.
Marilyn for
Bye,
being
everyone.
our
yes.
VP this week. Yes.
And
Yes.
MVP,
Thank you.
most
MVP.
valuable posts.
Yes.
There
Shout
you
out to
go. Thank
Marilyn.
you
Thank
so
you for
much.
tuning in. And we love you guys.
Bye,
Have a
guys.
great
Thank
weekend.
you.
Enjoy.
Have an
Stay
awesome,
safe.
awesome.
Make sure to book your appointments to those damn open houses. Don't be showing up agentless,
I know.
claiming to be
Yes,
agentless, and then
Yeah.
you show up all of a sudden with an agent. All right, come on, guys. Let's be honest with each other.
All right.
Yes.
Have a great weekend.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Take care, everybody.